Welcome to The Secret Place with Bennett, devotions for hungry hearts and searching souls.
Hi everybody, it's Steffa in The Secret Place. I'm glad you've come back to listen and share with me. We are on a roll. I am on a roll this month with this Bennett book, David Bennett, Sacred Companionship. I'm just loving it. I'm really in it, and there's so much to share with you. I hope, by the way, that you know that as I share from a book, and I lift up a book every single time for these past 2 years, the reason I do so is that if you're a reader or if you'd like to become one, you can get this book and you can enjoy it too. And plus, these people, even if they're not experts on a certain issue, some of these writers, some of these authors, there's so much to glean from them. There's so much I can grow from that I just eat it up. So today, we're talking about presence and solitude. And this is a little quote from the Bennett book. Presence begins with a still place within oneself. If I have no such inner place, I cannot really be present for others. Can I be still enough that I can hear God's call to me to join Him in my inner garden? The reason He wants to meet me there is so that this is where He wants, because this is where He wants the transformation to begin. But so often, fearing meeting Him or myself in the depths, I try to arrange a rendezvous with God in some safer place outside myself. And then I wonder why God does not seem to be there. Did that hit you square between the eyes like it hits me? There is certainly a place, a big place, for going somewhere to pray with others, like a church building, a hall where we can go and we can have a prayer meeting, or we can seek God together as a community. I love that. But what Bennett is talking about here is it's like in my sweet spot about really letting God in the inmost part, in the inmost place of our spirit. That place that is like, now I know it's metaphorically because none of us can ever identify it with a magnifying glass or a scope, right? But a place that is deeper than our flesh, and it's deeper than our personality. Some people call it our essence. I'm not calling it that. I call it the interior landscape, that inner room, that inmost room. I also think of that's maybe what the Lord meant in the book of Matthew, as it's recorded in chapter 6, verse 6, where this is just before Jesus is teaching his disciples how to pray when he begins, "Our Father who art in heaven." Well, go back and read that. Right before that, he and his disciples are having a discussion about what is good prayer, what is not, what is hypocritical. The hypocrites do this, the Pharisees do that, and Jesus answers the disciples and says, again, I'm paraphrasing here because I can't quote it word for word, but basically he says, when you pray, go into your inner room and close that, or inner closet or inner room, some versions say, and close the door and pray in secret, and your Father will hear you. So there's room and time in our life for prayer that is loud and boisterous and bold and rejoicing and declarative. And there's time to go in our inner room and close that door and meet God there. And I do believe this is what Bennett is referring to when he's talking about the solitude. Where does solitude of heart come from? Is a question I'm asking you today. Where do we get it? And why do we need it? We need that solitude of heart that Bennett is talking about, because that's where God will meet us. And really, it's a safe place. We may not think it's safe. That's why we want it to be external and outside of us, right? But internally, in the interior, That's a very safe spot where the Lord will meet you. He will meet me in that inner place, and we can talk with him and converse with him. We don't have to use high English or formal tone or formal words. We can talk to him in the language that I'm talking to you now, and that we speak together when we converse. Lord, I'm here. Are you here, God? Sometimes that question. Think of the psalmist. Think of David. He always said that. Where are you, O Lord? The Lord dwells within, and he made us, and he wants us to commune with him there. But we need a measure of solitude. We need to come away, like Jesus came away from the crowds. Now, I'm not saying we need to fast for 40 days in the wilderness. I never have. I don't know how we could exist. But Jesus fasted all those days in the wilderness. He came away from the crowds. So we need to come away from the crowds and be present to the Lord in that quiet solitude and not be afraid. Not be afraid, because God is there and he loves us. He is not there holding a stick. He is not there holding a whip. He is not there crossing his arms saying, okay, son, daughter, look how far away you've gone. Look how far you've run from me. Let's do some penance here. Let's punish you up a little bit so you can really know how important it. God, if anybody ever taught you that, say goodbye to that teaching. God does not stand ready to beat you. He sent Jesus so he wouldn't do that. He sent Jesus because he knew that you would run. He knew that I would run. Some of us run just a little bit far away from God. Some of us sprint. Some of us just run as far away as we possibly can. And I think that that's because we've been taught wrong things about God. He waits for you today in the secret place. That place of your inner landscape, your interior. Go to him today. I will go to him today and receive and enjoy and notice his glorious presence. The more we do that, this is something, I'm not just telling you to do it, this is something I have to do too. The more we do that, the more we can be present to others. The more we can just be there for others and be fully present and not be scattered and not fall apart. But we bring something to others when we bring our presence. We bring our presence as it's connected and communing with and in communion with our glorious God and Creator. That's about it for today. That's all I have for you. But I'm so glad you came by. Leave a message for me, okay? Share this with anybody if you feel like it's worthwhile. I don't know when I'm going to stop doing the secret place. It could be next month. Or I could go on, if the Lord allows, 3 years. I don't know. All I know is I keep having the grace and the strength to do it and finding the time to do it. And so I'm glad you find the time to show up. Thanks again. Bless you.
Breathe, listen, and receive. Take a moment to soak it all in. Until next time.